Hey,
Hello, how are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's
So,
like crazy weather here. There's like tornado warnings, but it's sunny and it's been like raining off and on. It's so weird.
and where are you now?
In Tennessee,
Okay, so tornadoes, yes.
yes, tornado season is here. And that's why we have like that weird like 70-degree weather days and then randomly 30 degrees because in the middle of the country, it's just like swarming us. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know where we'd go if there was a tornado.
So I'm recording on Zoom, and then what I do is it's records audio separate, so I just use that audio recording to edit the podcast. So if you ever say something you want to re-say or start again, you can just stop, pause, and I can edit it out. But yeah, I just thought it would be a good way to like get back into Bodi. The more people hear me talking about it, especially, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to my podcast, but I'm just trying to like get out there more. Um, so yeah.
Yay. So like what do you want me to talk about? Or like are you gonna like ask me questions or
I think, yeah, I don't know. It depends because my conversation with Jessa ended up going like 45 minutes yesterday. I was like, oh, I was thinking I'm just going to get all these clips to clip in. So I'm not sure once I speak to a few different people, like maybe it's going to end up being like a few different episodes. But I was thinking like just introducing yourself and then talking about how Bodi has impacted your life, why you got started and how it's impacted your life. And then what I've been doing with people from there is just kind of asking more questions. I think our conversation's a little bit different because you're my coach. And so you also have the perspective of seeing like me when I joined and how that's impacted me. So I'm just curious to see where our conversation goes.
yay. Okay. Well, hi, I'm Leanna. I have been partnering with Beachbody for 6 years now as of January officially. Like that was my coach sign up was in January, but then I originally started the programs like during August. It was like summertime. And then I signed up as a coach because my coach pressured me into it, but I totally did not like go full force with everything. I was much more of just like an affiliate partner, like dabbling into everything. And then when I saw other girls working the business and like taking it more seriously and hitting goals for themselves, I was like, wait, I should be doing that. Like, why am I not doing these same things? Hold on. Let me try to turn my whatever, do not disturb on. I always get so many like Facebook notifications, and sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't.
And you'll get nothing. And then as soon as you're like doing something or talking to someone, it's like ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
So there was a girl on Instagram who sent me like 50 like images. I think she's a bot, like trying to sell me something, but I was like, go away. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so I saw other people working their businesses, hitting goals, like paying for their own supplements, just doing all these things with Bodi, helping change people's lives, and kind of also simultaneously creating their dream lives essentially. And I was like, wait, like this is so cool. There's so much possibility. And so that vision was kind of painted out for me by other people, but it took being in the community, doing the programs, like drinking the supplements, following the nutrition plans to kind of actually build that belief. And then throughout those first like 5 months ish before I like dove in wholeheartedly as a coach, really to build the business, I was also reading personal development because that was hugely encouraged as just like an affiliate partner with Bodi. You know, they're always telling us to grow our mind and listen to podcasts. And we have like coach trainings. And so I was in on all of that stuff. And I was like learning to believe in myself and believe in the company and just really like fall in love with the whole process. So I was like, wait, why am I not doing this fully and really diving in and seeing like what I could make out of this? And I kept hearing over and over, if you are like kind of half in, half out, it's not as rewarding as if you just dive in fully. Because if you give it your all and go all in, then you'll get so much better results. And it's like this business compounds over time. So if you're just putting in a little bit every single day moving forward, you're going to have these massive results over time, just like anything with our workouts and nutrition. And so yeah, I was like, I want to, I want part of what that can give me in the future, both like health wise, personal growth wise, and also like financial wise. Um, so yeah, that's basically how I got started. Anything else you want me to share?
And so over the past 6 years, how has Beach Body or Body changed, and how has that impacted your life?
Yes. So it has changed over the last 6 years so much. Like the company itself, obviously, right now we're going through a name change, transitioning to Bodi and really pursuing like this health esteem brand, which I love. And that's kind of always been what Bodi has done for me. Like in my life, when I first started my fitness journey, I did it purely for the aesthetics. Like I just wanted to get skinny. I had always really struggled with my body image, really like hated I'm bigger chested and like I have some curves and I just hated that. Like I always wanted to just be like skinny, like the models we see in magazines. And when I joined Bodi, I had already been like trying to get healthy for about a year, but I had been doing so many diets and kind of leaning into the diet cycle and falling into those bad habits of like over exercising, under eating, because that's what people tell you. They're like, well, you just need to, work out more and more and more and burn as many calories as possible and eat as little as possible, which is so not true. And everybody is different. Like every single body's different. And so when I joined our groups and my coach initially, it was so cool to see these plans, like they were customized for your body, your goals. And it was so simple at the same time. Like, even though it was perfect for you, it was so simple to follow, so easy to understand, no calorie counting, no like, not even macro counting. I know like some people just love getting nerdy and into that stuff, but I just needed simplicity. And I got to the point where I was being so like bad with my habits, like binge eating and even like purging a few times, that I was like desperate. I was like, I needed something that is going to help me feel better. And so it's kind of like this shift where my back was up against the wall and I had like lost weight, gained weight, lost weight, gained weight. And I really stopped like caring more so about my body image and was more like, I just feel like garbage all the time. I don't know what works, what even is health. Like I just needed something to help, some guidance. And I also started developing gut issues from all of the dieting. And so then when I found my coach and I just committed to a program, it was like 30-minute workouts or less per day, this basic nutrition plan with color coded containers that like helped you learn about your food groups and how many of what food group you should eat every single day. So it was like very simple. And I was like, how is this going to work? Like, it's too good to be true because it's so simple. Like I was running 2 hours a day beforehand and following nutrition plans that were like, 1,200 calories just for me. And I'm like 5'9" and 150 pounds ish when I'm like really healthy. So like I need a lot of food. And that was one of the things this nutrition plan challenged me with. Was I was like blown away at how much food I had to eat. I was like, wait, what? I need carbs and like healthy fats and all these things. Like carbs aren't bad. Carbs aren't the devil. Oh, I can also have like a glass of wine or like a little piece of chocolate here and there. So it's really this awareness of like balance and holistic health that Bodi taught me about. And it's funny because now 6 years later, we're transitioning into like health esteem and just more love for your body, starting on day one, knowing that you are already succeeding because you said yes, like so many good values that I already agree with. And I personally felt like that's what transformed my life in the beginning. So now it's like, okay, the initial transformation that I've experienced is like what everybody else is kind of going to get more experience of. just upfront, like from our branding and marketing, which is really exciting. So pumped for that. But other than that, that's like the main way it helped me health wise. And then on the business front of things, I feel like over the last 6 years, it's done so much. Like I can't even, can't even like go into all of it. But obviously, so I was a yoga teacher and I was also in college. Like many things were changing when I started doing Bodi in my life. Like I was still so young in college, like my second year. And so I was learning what I really wanted out of life, what like my goals were and my vision for my life was. And I was also pursuing music in school. And I kind of got to this point where I was seeing other successful musicians and I was like, their lives don't look like what I want my life to look like. Like I want to have a family. I want to spend time with my husband. Like I want to prioritize people and relationships and just time with those that I love and like adventures together. And being a musician or like a singer songwriter, if you're successful, you like tour all the time. You're always gone. So I was like, okay, this like job is not going to give me the life that I want. And then I started, as I was growing as a coach, I was realizing that coaching would give me this life of like flexibility and opportunity. And I could, if I did it full time, I could create my own schedule. I could stay at home with babies someday. I could travel. I didn't have to ask like my boss for time off. And I never had to worry about like, if I took time off, the paychecks would stop, right? Because you stop working, you're not there. But like with this, you can work from anywhere. So even if we go on a vacation, I can bring my work with me. I can help a few people here and there. I can check in on my clients. I can still commit to my nutrition and my health and make that a priority. So I eventually ended up dropping out of school with this like tiny glimmer of hope that coaching could be something more for me than it was. But I also still like kept my eggs in other baskets of like, I was a barista at a health food market. I was yoga teaching, I was dog sitting, I was house sitting, like doing all these other side gigs. And I just thought to myself, like, if I can make this work, then like I will have the life that I'm dreaming of. And if I can't make it work, then like we'll figure that out when we get there. Like I can go back to school, I can try to like pursue a different job in the music industry of some kind. But I just really had this like blind faith that I needed to try it and give it my all because that life of my dreams was worth like that risk and worth just like seeing, what if. And so then, long story short, it sounds like too good to be true, but now 6 years later, we get that life, which is so cool. My husband and I traveled in an RV shortly after I quit my job as a yoga teacher and at the health food market as a barista. And we renovated this RV and we lived in it for like 2.5 years. He was doing music and had a lot of connections in Chicago. So we'd like travel up to Chicago and stay at an RV park and then travel, back to Tennessee. And it was so much fun that we kind of got addicted to traveling. And then we were like, we need to do this more. And so we bought a van right before the pandemic hit and we started renovating that. And we were like, well, during the pandemic, they're saying like stay inside and everything, but with a van, we can travel on our own terms. So we were like, let's do it. Let's just go travel. And like, yes, some things will be closed and maybe we won't be able to see as many people as we wanted, but we can still like visit places and go to just like parks that we've never been to and see sites that we've always wanted to see. So we did that for 9 months. And then it turned into my husband's full-time job because music and all of that kind of shut down during COVID. And then he was like, I want to build vans. So we kind of had to stop van life. We got an apartment and then a townhouse. And now fast forward, we're living in our first house. And it's just like crazy because I don't think we would have taken all those like adventures and just been so like spontaneous and open to change and like trying new things or like living different lifestyles if it hadn't been for coaching, because I could take my work with me on the road the whole entire time. And like now I still love traveling so much. and we'll still be doing that. But now I'm pregnant, which is crazy, and 25 weeks pregnant. And so now the plan is like kind of settle down and like build a homestead here. We want to like eventually buy a lot more land and maybe get like chickens and I don't know, more animals, build a garden for ourselves. So many dreams. It's just like cool how Bodi has given us the ability to dream, I think, and like open ourselves up to possibilities that normal people don't. Like the normal person's like, okay, I have this 9 to 5 job and I'm just going to live my life according to that. And they don't get this opportunity to think bigger of like, what if, or, you know, what if I quit the job? What if I pursue this? What if I pursue that? And here we have so much flexibility where I'm like, I can, you know, I got my piano brought down from my parents in Michigan when we bought this house. And so now I'm like, I need to dive back into piano and like learn how to play again. And I'm like pursuing other hobbies, and like gardening was never a thing on my mind. But now I'm like, the price of food and like everything is going up right now with inflation. So why not grow my own food and help myself be even healthier and all that? So yeah, lots, lots and lots that Bodi has helped us with are just like transformed in our lives. I feel like I could go on and on and on. Obviously, it's like helped us on the financial side of everything with this lifestyle. And it's amazing to like get the dream of being stay at home, and eventually like we have 2 dogs, so I'm like stay at home dog mom, but eventually to be a stay at home mom and still like not have to sacrifice not having a job, you know? Like I'll have a job, I'll be able to work from home, I'll be able to still bring in income in some ways and contribute to our like goals as a family and as a couple, and still get the dream of like living at home or like working from home and all that. I'm just a homebody, so that works for me. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else.
Yeah, it's really cool to hear you talk about your story because we've never actually met in person. I had tickets to come to a couple of things and the lockdown like just prevented that. So we still have not met. It's been like almost 4 years since I joined in 2019. But yeah, like I've seen these transformations. I've followed along with this. And it kind of goes back to like when I started with you, I was trying to get into a gym, dealing with my own health problems. And, you know, I kept trying to find a personal trainer and I was having all these negative experiences at the gym. And you had invited me. And I was like, no, like, I don't know. That sounds like scheme. I don't know. I'm not into it. I don't know you. But we stayed in contact. I kept following you. And just, you know, 6 years later, you're consistent every day, showing up, doing the things. And it's like, you know, I'm still, yes, we can all do it ourselves. We all know the things we need to do, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the community and the accountability that comes with the bot experience. And so, you know, having you reach out and I'm like, no, and then constantly seeing you and seeing your girls, you know, working out. I'm like, you know, yeah, the things I'm doing are not working the way the things she's doing are working. You know what? Okay, I'm going all in. And I think I messaged you and I was like, you know what? I'll go all in. You had told me 30-day money back guarantee. I was like, perfect. I'm going to give it everything I have for 30 days. Put me in deluxe package, sign me up. And I signed up as a coach. And I think that is a really daunting thought for a lot of people. I put a lot of effort and work into it. That's just the kind of person I am. But I think that that can be misleading to other people about what the actual opportunity is. And one way I heard it explained is like a fitness plan with a compensation package. And so that was really cool. But what are some of the biggest objections you get? And what are some of the things you tell people to work past those?
So with the Bodi opportunity, like being a partner or a coach, I think the biggest resilience I run into is either people don't believe that they're like good enough to do it, like they're not fit enough, or they don't have enough training experience, or they're not, whatever, like anything that's just kind of like a personal self-limiting belief. And I feel like the best way to overcome those is to jump into our accountability groups and like be a client and just like attack your own journey and get healthy and happy. And like you can always have that little nugget of being a partner coach in the back of your head and see that that's a possibility, or just remember that that's an opportunity for you. But I think a lot of people need to kind of build that belief in themselves, even like I did, like going back to my journey. I totally like would not be the person I am today or have the life I have today had I not been surrounded, like you said, with all the community and personal development encouragements. And like our team calls, I feel like are so huge on personal development as well. And we always have that saying, like, stay close to the fire, because it's hard to like light yourself on fire. And that kind of refers to belief. Like if you struggle with belief in yourself for any reason, or you struggle with belief in the company or the products or tools or whatever, but you see the opportunity and you're like, that would be cool, I would love to do that. Which that was basically me. Then it's like, stay close to the fire of our community, of our teams, of the coaches around you, the partners who are succeeding. And then that will kind of light you on fire. And then the more you go and the more you like start to believe in yourself, your fire will grow. And then you can kind of make your own little bonfire over there. And then all your people will start to kind of come around you as their fire. And then, yeah, it's just like this never ending chain of events, chain of reaction. I don't know, domino effect. So I feel like that's the number one thing. And that's why I also think being like a customer first and just like a client in one of our groups is probably the best way to start anybody's coaching journey or partner journey. Because if you don't fall in love with the journey for yourself, if you don't fall in love with growth, because that's the reason I feel like I'm still here despite like all the setbacks. The community, obviously, yes, I've made some of my best friends in this. Like I was in my coach's wedding. I would have had her be in my wedding if we had gotten married earlier, but I didn't know her yet. But the community is insane. Like time and time again, that is what has brought me back. But then the other thing is just like, if I think about if I quit today, like the finances and stuff, like, yeah, whatever, that would go away. But the biggest thing is the growth, like my own personal self growth. And I'm like, I love who I am today. And I would not be her if I like stopped this whole process. And if I stopped, doing my workouts every day and drinking my Shaco and all the things, personal development, like reading books, like it just keeps you constantly leveling up. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is you have to fall in love with that journey before you can start pouring from your own cup. Because like the quote says, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to learn how to use our tools and our community and everything to fill your own cup first. I feel like there's so many other obstacles I could like talk on. Do you want me to keep going?
Like everything you said is like, yes, I'm like, I know, right? For me, I remember like, I get a lot of people saying to me like, oh, I don't have like now, this is the thing. People see me now on my Instagram and when I invite people, but what they don't realize is that back in 2019, when I started with Bod, I was working full-time retail management. I was busy. I was getting up at 5 in the morning to try and get to the gym before work. Like this is like part of my life, how I've transformed. Now I'm a personal trainer. Now I have a home gym. But when I started, I didn't have anything. I didn't even have a yoga mat. I had nothing. You don't need to wait till you have the tools, because that's what Bodi is. It's like a solution. It comes with everything you need, and you get to learn and explore and find the parts of it that you like to build the healthy routines and habits that are going to help you reach your goals. And so I think that's kind of one of the biggest things for me that I've taken away from Bodi is like, yeah, it's like just had such a profound impact on my life. And yeah, it goes back to like a personal development plan with a compensation plan. You're just inviting your friends and people to come along on this journey with you. So it's been really cool for me. And, yeah, you go kind of up and down in your journey, different things happen. And I've got a lot of pushback from people like, why do you do that? And, for me, I really believe in it. It came to me at the perfect time. It is exactly what I needed. I had no experience. I got to do workouts at home, explore fitness. I started with the program MM100 with Jericho, one of the super trainers. And I freaking loved it. It's like different workouts every day. I got to try different things, learn different things. I'd take a picture every day of a new movement I did, or like just every day you get the reward of like, look at what I learned today. Look at what I tried today. I pushed myself to do. And, I liked the Fight Club day in that program. And now I'm training in MMA, and, it's like so crazy the impact. But yeah, what was your first program that you did with Beachbody?
I did 21 Day Fix with Autumn. So freaking fun. But it was like so simple. And now it was what blew my mind, like the 30 minutes a day. And then every day was different. I remember the first day was leg day. And I literally was living with my best friend at the time in Chicago because I wanted to like keep my jobs throughout the summer of being in college. And I was like, I didn't have anything, exactly what you said. No weights, like nothing. I think I actually found a bunch of DVDs from her mom, and they were like T25 or something, like Sean T's old program. And I was staying in one of their guest bedrooms, and I like saw the DVDs and I was like, wait, is this the same company? It's like what I'm doing. But then for the leg day, I don't think I had weights, and I used like something, like I used like wine bottles or cans, like milk jugs, so many weird things. And I just remember like the sense of pride after my first workout. I like looked in the mirror and I was like, that was amazing. And I did it. Like, because part of you thinks like, oh my gosh, am I even going to be able to do this? But then the 30 minutes go by and you're like, wow, like that was hard, but it wasn't like that bad. Like it didn't kill me or anything. And then it gives you a little boost. And like you said, you like post your selfie in the group or whatever. And then every time I would go in the group and post those sweaty selfies, I always remember just being like, wow, like there's other people doing this and I'm not alone. And I think health and fitness is so, at least it used to be so like taboo, one of those topics where like women don't talk about it with each other. And I remember having friends growing up who would always just like be down on themselves and say, oh, I'm so fat, I'm so this, I'm so that. And I would do it too. And then once I started doing these programs and like seeing positivity in our groups and people like, I can do this, you got this, like supporting each other, I was like, what is this? Like, are we in heaven right now? Like people are just being so supportive and kind. And it's like not taboo. Like you can talk about anything you're going through. Like, oh my gosh, like what's your favorite sports bra? Like I need more support or anything like that. Or man, I made my smoothie today and it was terrible. Like, can somebody give me a recipe that's better? Like, it's just so fun having that like freedom and openness to talk with each other. And I think that's the other benefit of like doing it virtually. Like, yes, like we all meet up in person and that's so fun, but the virtual aspect kind of provides this like safety net for someone when they're starting, because it's so scary to start if you're far from where you want to be, which most people I feel like are, regardless of like how you look or where you're at physically. Like everybody who starts has some kind of, goal, whether mentally, internally, like they just want to feel better, whatever. So that's huge too. Like I think for me, I'm very social and I can talk to people easily, but I'm actually an introvert. And having like kind of the privacy of like, I'm doing this from my own home and I have the girls, that community and that support, but I'm like not with them necessarily in the moment. Like that was actually really helpful for me. So yeah.
And for someone who's like never heard of Bodi, doesn't know anyone who knows about it, what is Bodi?
That's a good question. I'm like, how can I say this in a well? I think Bodi is basically a company that started creating fitness programs, nutrition programs, just tools for someone on their health journey to get healthy and happy and feel good in their skin. And I think in the beginning, I'm pretty sure 20 years ago, it was just like two guys and they partnered up on this and they were selling these programs like in DVD form. And then they saw message boards online, like community chats, like I don't know what it was through, but just like chat threads and people supporting people. And they realized, oh my gosh, like our products only sell if like people commit to them. And it's hard to commit to something, but if they have community around them, then they will always commit and follow through because they're getting this support. And so they talked to some of their like top customers who are committing really, really well. And they launched the coach network or like the partner network. And then that was when they basically realized if we can help our coaches to help people on their programs and with their nutrition plans and drinking their supplements and all of that, then our product will continue to sell to people because people will actually get results. So it's kind of like this figuring out of like, we have this awesome product, amazing tools. They really do work. Like they're created by amazing personal trainers and nutritionists. They're, the world class of these things, but adding that coaching network and that like just community aspect made it so that their products would work for people because people don't necessarily always want to like follow through on things. And so yeah, I feel like the best explanation of Bodi is the history of it. And now, like so many years later, we're just still doing that, but on like a larger scale. And I think the company as a whole, the corporate company works so hard not only to create amazing tools for us health-wise, but also like tools for the coaches and partners to help their clients see success more efficiently. And yeah, I don't know. It feels like this family, really. Like I feel like the company is a family. There's so much feedback from like CEO to corporate to us coaches, like just communicating, even with the new launch. Like I'm in so many Facebook groups and I'm hearing feedback from coaches, both positive and negative. And I'm like, whoa, like I wouldn't have the guts to say something like that, like so honest, but it's how people feel. And there's like letters coming in from the CEO and from other people on the corporate team saying, thanks for your feedback. We hear you. We love you guys. We appreciate this. Like, thanks for your honesty. We're going to work on this. We're going to work on that. So yeah, that's Bodi as a whole.
I love it. Is there anything else that you would want people to know or anything else you want to say?
I feel like we should include the income disclaimer just because we talked a little bit on income. I have it up. Should I just read it?
Sure.
Okay, so the Bodi income disclaimer, just so everyone knows that when you join as a partner and a coach, it is 100% up to you. Nothing is guaranteed. What we do as coaches is real. So yeah, Bodi does not guarantee any level of success or income from the Bodi partner opportunity. Each partner's income depends on his or her own efforts, diligence, and skill. And then we also have a statement of independent coach or partner earnings located at a little website. So you can actually see like, what are people earning with this? But I think that's the coolest part is that there's no ceiling and it's like the double-edged sword of, oh my gosh, everything's on me, but like, oh my gosh, everything's on me. Like nobody's limiting me from seeing success or pursuing success. It's all up to me. So I can like make my business what I want it to be, whether that's something part-time and just like pays for my supplements or something more full-time and provides more flexibility for my life. And yeah, it's just, I think it's the coolest thing in the world. Very thankful. And thankful for you, Jess, that you're on our team. It's so crazy that you've been around for 4 years.
Well, and it's like so cool because in the beginning, I like really was into it and building it. And then I kind of like, I've been on a roller coaster with it and, to still see, like, I haven't necessarily worked the business side of it, but there's still like money going into my account. And that's where it's like, wow, like I'm making money for doing the things that I would be doing anyways, like doing my healthy habits and sharing that with other people to change their lives.
Yeah. And I would say you're such a good example too, that like you can do this as like a part-time person, partner, coach, whatever you want to say, and like not put necessarily all your eggs into this basket of Bodi and still see so much success. You know, it's different. Like for me, obviously it's my full-time thing. And so it's kind of the priority. But for other people like you, it's like you can still use this. I think so many people just get caught up in their heads of seeing it as black and white and all or nothing. And it's like, well, I either have to be the top coach or nothing. And it's like, no, like you can make this whatever it needs to be for your life. And, you know, like I feel like you've had a couple of like years with so much variety in your life. I guess that's like putting it nicely. But like with your father-in-law and being like his caretaker and stuff like that, it's like this is exactly what you needed in that time. And now you're like out of the house more, you're not taking care of him. You have so many more like community things you're going to, fitness groups, training. And so it still like works for this new lifestyle you're creating. And yeah, so like no matter what you're going through in life, people are always like, well, I don't know if it'll work for me. It will work for anybody because it works like for you no matter what you're doing in your life. Like I love that saying, most jobs like you work it and then you kind of build your life around it, whereas coaching, like your life doesn't depend on the job. You build your life and then the job kind of fits around your life and everything else you're going through, and it can support you in that because part of your job is to be healthy and happy. So yeah, so fun. Thanks for
Yeah.
asking me to do this.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. There's 3 minutes left on my timer, but yeah, thanks for talking with me. I will put the recording of this up on like an unlisted YouTube and send it to you so you have the full recording. And then once I edit an episode, I haven't figured out if this is going to be a whole episode or if I'm going to take like pieces. I'll have to see once I get, because this is like I'm getting a lot of 40-minute, 45-minute recordings.
It's
So
so hard to not like share much.
I know.
I always go over on live videos too. I'm like, oh gosh. It's
Well,
okay.
and so it's so like profoundly impactful. So that's the message of it all. And you make it work for you. Yeah. So
Yeah,
thank you for always being consistent, always being there, sending me
you're
a
welcome.
random stranger that invite. And yeah, I appreciate you.
It's such a good reminder for me because then I'm like, okay, I need to keep doing this. Like, I need to keep sending those invites to people I don't know. Like, even today, I was like, okay, I've been connecting too much. I need to just bite the bullet, send the invite because some people are just waiting for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.